Welcome. I'm Samvar Mishra speaking. The topic is magical powers of Bhagwat Puran. It is an old scripture which is being celebrated from time to time by various speakers of religion and philosophy. See, listening to this holy book ignites knowledge and sparks a sense of departure from the attachment to the temporal world. The process begins with dedication and devotion, leading to submission to God. The most distinguishing and charismatic feature of this text is that it transforms the listener into a dedicated devotee in a matter of 7 days. When people have spent years and remained unsuccessful to comprehend the mystery of Bhagavad Puran, this scripture delivers the know how and do how of consecrating oneself from the accumulated unholy deeds of life, which acts as a shortcut to earn spiritual credit in life. To describe in few words, it is a transforming process. It is a transdisciplinary text comprising the art of love, the philosophy of love, and the bioenergy of love. Even after listening, if one does not change, that means he wasted his time. Although the knowledge for emancipation lies within us in a silent mode, this holy text injects a renewed vigor and changes the listener by uplifting his intellectual potential for action. Perhaps the ductless glands in the human body secrete such hormones that brings about the change in the listener. It is a miraculous process. The act of orientation to divinity from the physical world is the task of an expert certainly devoted to God, who can effectively communicate the mystery of the text. To fulfill the commitment, the preacher must meet this challenge. If he does not, he should be considered disqualified for the delivery of the message of this holy book. Imagine that a person is pre informed of his impending death in the next 7 days. What is the most important thing he should do in this critical time? Perhaps write up the division of his assets to the leagued heirs, square up the unfulfilled tasks, and so on. But this is not the goal of human life. The mythological event narrates that King Parikshit was bitten to death by the deadliest snake, Taksak, on the 7th day. He was informed of the death in advance. Life's most critical period of 7 days was available for choosing the option which could avert death. What he did was to listen to Bhagwat Puran in a 7 day crash program Surprisingly, it alleviated the severity of the pangs of death. Results were amazing. He did realize the gains following the narrative. Perhaps Parikshit's understanding of the terminal event of death might have changed, or his exclusive and unconditional surrender to God enabled him to happily face death with any fear by a spiritual uplift. Probably in the process of surrender, the individual consciousness is transferred to superconsciousness, leaving the physical body without consciousness, that is death. It is a painless transfer when the provider of life, that is God, takes away the consciousness himself from the live body. A God given death. Call it a very rare phenomena in one's life. Such is the glory and celestial effect of this holy book. We know that death strikes the living beings on any one of the 7 days of the week. People should be afraid of the doomsday. Fear of death should be used to restrain one from committing unholy acts of violence, rape, murder, theft, etc. If one fears death, which can strike without prior notice, will human attitude towards crime change? Life's most coveted goal is to realize God within and not amassing wealth, win titles, earning names and fame. All this will disappear with the death of the person. While we are busy in the daily routine work, we do not identify the ultimate goal of life until the end comes, and by then it is too late. Recall the history of the past Egyptian rulers who were cremated with their amassed wealth, anticipating that it could be used after death. Did they use it? Death marks the end of all activities of life in this world. After death, one enters a different world which is unknown to everyone. Thanks.